Okay, in our last two videos, we touched on the choosing the rod and the reel. So we now touch on choosing the accessories. The accessories, there are many components and they are all very important because when you fight a fish, it will always fail at the weakest link. So then we touch on the one of the most important part, which is the line. So the line, the fishing line, there are two main types. One is the braided line, the other one is the monofilament line. So for braided line, it is like cloth. What I'm using now is braided line. You cannot see that clear because it's very thin. So for the same poundage, let's say for example for a 20-pound braided line compared to a 20-pound monofilament line, the monofilament line is a few times thicker than the braided line. And because it's thicker in diameter, there are a lot of disadvantages. Firstly, the capacity of the reel right will be less. Because it's thicker, you can store much lesser line. The diameter is about 3 to 4 times thicker. And then because of the thicker diameter, when you are fishing and the current is strong, the current will blow the line away because there's more surface area. So when this will even be worse when you are fishing in very deep waters and the current is strong, then you can see that your line is being blown very far away. But for braided line, it will just cut through the current. Then, this monofilament line got this characteristic because there is some elasticity inside. So that means when you drop it down and there's a fish bite, the nibbling action will be absorbed by the elasticity. So it's less sensitive. So if you want to be very sensitive, you can feel the bite straight away, feel that you're rubbing against the seagrass, the corals, and all the rocks, right? You have to use braided line, so you'll be more sensitive. And lastly, because of the nature of the monofilament line, there is this called line memory. So when you coil up inside, after a while, your line will be all very curvy. For braided line, when you uncoil it, it will still definitely be straight because there's no line memory. So this line memory will also cause a problem when you put it inside your spool. But there's a very big advantage for monofilament. It is they are very abrasion resistant. So when you rub the monofilament against, like for example, the rocks or the fish body, if you catch a fish, or the fish mouth, there's teeth. So for monofilament, it can stand the abrasion much better than braided line. So this is the only disadvantage of the monofilament. So how to combine these two advantages? I mean these advantages of the braided line and the mono line together and get rid of all the disadvantages, right? There's this knot called the FG knot. So we'll connect the bottom part of it to monofilament. We call it the shock leader. The top part is still using braided. So you still can, be sensitive, feel the fish bite. You still can cut through the current. You still can store a lot of line inside the reel. But because bottom part is the monofilament, it will rub against the rocks and the fish mouth and body and still can resist the abrasion. So all this information actually is being taught in our novice angler course. So you can refer to the link below to have to get a copy of this course. The information are all inside about the characteristics of the line and how it should be used and what type of line to choose. So now you know more about the fishing lines.